Shalom og hjertelig velkommen til denne direktesendingen fra Med Israel for fred. The remaining part of this live stream will be in English because we have a guest from Israel today, Yoseph Haddad. He's an Israeli Christian Arab, and we go straight to you, Joseph. Hello.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
It's good to... You're in Nazareth now?
Yes.
Yes, that's wonderful. And joining us is also Rika Greenberg, who is the director of MIFF in Denmark. Hello, how is Copenhagen today?
No rain.
No rain.
The most important, yes, no rain.
That's wonderful. And what about Israel? No rain?
Well, no rain, and we should say that I'm in Nazareth, which is the biggest Arabic city in Israel. And we're hoping that, soon we will see, because, it's a tourist city. Hopefully soon, we'll stop with this corona pandemic and see everybody coming back and visit all these amazing places in Israel and eat the good and great hummus in Nazareth.
Yeah. Wonderful. So we really look forward to the talk. Please, my call to the audience is please write your questions. If you're following this on the MIFF Norway Facebook, we will be able to pick up your questions and show them and read them out to Joseph. And if you have any questions about his military service, about his work to bridge Arab and Jews and Christians within the Israeli society, any other questions, please feel free to ask, whether it's in Norwegian or English, and Joseph will be able to give you an answer.
Grunnen til at jeg støtter Israel og er blitt med i MIFF, det fordi at informasjonen vi får i norsk media er så ensidig. Og vi får ikke fram den hele sannheten om den konflikten som er i området.
Jeg er medlem av MIFF for å prøve å få en bedre forståelse av det reelle bildet av Israel, og hvordan det israelske folk ser på konflikten i Midtøsten, og for å få et litt mer helhetlig bilde av det.
Jo, jeg er medlem av MIFF fordi jeg mener at Israel og jødene har rett til sitt land. Det er givende, og du blir jo ofte utfordret på det, men det som også er utrolig bra med MIFF er at de gjør et veldig godt grunnarbeid med å hente god informasjon, så argumentene er selvfølgelig på vår side. Aldri vært viktigere å stå opp for Israel.
Det er viktig. Det er Midtøstens eneste reelle demokrati.
I Norge er bildet på Israel så forvrengt at den jobben MIFF gjør er helt nødvendig.
Jeg er veldig glad i MIFF og har blitt mer og mer engasjert, og jeg er stolt over det arbeidet MIFF gjør. Jeg synes at MIFF taler til alle, og så er det jo selvfølgelig politisk uavhengig og religiøst uavhengig, så MIFF favner jo bredt.
Det var jo egentlig bestefar som begynte med det, siden han syntes det var så fælt hvordan Norge behandlet jøder under andre verdenskrig. Så jeg støtter vel egentlig, for jeg føler det blir så feil fremstilt i media i Norge.
Det gir et fellesskap og et tankefellesskap og et sosialt fellesskap, der du kan få utforske situasjonen på nye måter, og du kan få inn perspektiver og holdninger, og gjerne se ting som du ikke ser så mange andre veier, og du får, etter min mening, et mer helhetlig syn på konflikten.
Til alle dere unge der ute som har lurt på det, så er det bare å melde seg inn.
We are live with Yoseph Haddad from Nazareth in Israel. So happy to have you, Joseph. We have followed your work in social media and in defense of Israel for so many years. We have some of the MIFF members have met you on trips to Israel, but I haven't had the honor to talk to you before. So please tell us a little bit about yourself, and I'm sure there will also be questions from our viewers. And Rika will also help us asking the questions, please.
All right. So first of all, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here with you guys and speak to you. Thank you for this warm hospitality. So my name is Yoseph Haddad, and I'm an Israeli Arab from the city of Nazareth, the largest Arab city in Israel. And I was born in Haifa, which is the largest mixed city in Israel. And there's a reason why I'm actually saying both Nazareth and Haifa. Because of the people and because of my friends and the way I grew up, I'm actually doing what I'm doing today. Literally, it's from my childhood. Because when I grew up, I saw that the Israeli society, I saw it in a different way. Because I had Jewish friends and I had Christian friends, Muslim friends, Druze and Bedouin. And we all grew up in like one society. And we had like our own, private society. But it made me realize that if we could have this society here in Israel, then we can make it wider and bigger. And we can spread this to the whole society. Because, I'm not naive. We have problems and it's not everything is perfect here in Israel. But when I saw that, I went to my Muslim friends to Eid al-Adha and to on Passover to my Jewish friends. And when on Christmas, they came and visited me. So we've literally, we didn't care. You're an Arab, you're a Jew. And with this, this is how I grew up. When I arrived at the age of 18 here in Israel, you go to the military, but only the Druze and the Jewish people are obligated to serve in the army. Mm-hmm. As for the Christians and the Muslims, it's not obligatory. So I asked a simple question, why? Why it's not why? Eventually, mm-hmm. It's the IDF. Israel Defense Force and not the JDF, not a Jewish Defense Force. And because of that, I decided to volunteer to the army, and I've served in the Golani Brigade, which is one of the highest combat brigades in the IDF. I was also a commander in the IDF. And I'm saying it as it is. An Arab commander over Jewish soldiers in the IDF. Especially for those who are talking about Israel being a part of that country. By the way, I'm not alone. Back then, I was among the few. Today, we have over 1,000 Israeli Arabs who are, in the IDF, in a number of roles. And also there is thousands of Israeli Arabs serving in the national service, which is also serving the country. So I was in the army, and towards the end of my service, on 2006, I participated in the Second Lebanon War. I was there almost at the end, and I'm saying almost at the end because 2 days before ceasefire, I was badly injured. And I was hit by an anti-tank missile. And I was lucky that it didn't really hit me directly. Otherwise, it would be in 1,000 pieces, but it hit a wall that was very close to me. From the explosion, I was injured badly, but I was lucky to be evacuated fast. And the year after, I fully rehabilitated. And with all the injuries, I'm now playing football again and walking and running even. So this is something that I managed to pass. But I want to, just before I little bit share about what I do today, I just wanted to share with you a small story about why it's the IDF and not the JDF, why it's Israel Defense Force, and why, as an Israeli Arab, I decided to fight for my country and my society. And the simple thing is, the story talks about that just a few days before I entered Lebanon, one of my friends from Nazareth called me and he said, how dare you? How dare you to go and fight other Arabs in Lebanon? You are an Arab. And I told him, listen, I'm not fighting other Arabs. I'm fighting Hezbollah, which is a terrorist organization. Then I got injured and I was in the hospital. And then this friend came and visited me in the hospital. And a lot of people know that over 200 soldiers died in the war. But not a lot of people know that 44 civilians were killed from Hezbollah rockets. Half of them were Israeli Arab Muslims. When I was in Lebanon, I was defending my society, which is the Arab and the Jewish Israeli society. When I was in Lebanon, I was defending my city. On my city, Nazareth, the biggest Arabic city, rockets fell, killing babies, injuring dozens of my city, my people. So when I was there, I wasn't fighting other Arabs. I was fighting terrorists to defend my country, to defend my people. And this is exactly what I said to the friend when he came and visited me. His reaction was, I'm sorry. He didn't, like he said, he couldn't say anything. He just agreed. And for me, this is very important to pass this message, to understand the importance of when we say the IDF is defending everyone in this country. And when the country fights, for instance, against Iran, especially Iran wanting to eliminate Israel, it's also eliminating us, 2 million Israeli Arabs.
Yeah.
So this story was very important for me to share with you guys. And today I'm the CEO of Together Vouch for Each Other, which is an Arab-Israeli organization, works to bridge the gaps between Jews and Arabs and bring the Arab-Israeli society closer to the Israeli society and to be an integral part of the Israeli society. Also, to affect in political manners and social matters. So this is something that we do, and not only in Israel, but we also, as Israeli Arabs, go and speak outside in campuses around the United States, Canada, Europe, to reveal the truth about Israel and to show the facts. And when I say to reveal the truth and show the facts, it's the whole truth. Yes, including saying that my country is not perfect and there is problems. But instead of crying and instead of feeling sorry, we actually come and also give solutions. And this is exactly what we want to do in our organization, Together Vouch for Each Other, which is, we have all people in Christians, Muslims, Druze, Jews, Bedouin, men, women, from age 16 to, we have the oldest volunteer is 70 something. So this is just amazing. And we keep growing more and more. So yeah, we're very proud of what we're doing so far.
Could you tell us a bit more about being an Arab Israeli in Israeli society, how it feels to actually in some way you have two identities, as far as I can see?
Yeah. So I always, I've just a few days ago I spoke at the UN Human Rights Council, and in one of my speeches I said, one of my sentences in the speech was that I'm proud to be an Arab and I'm proud to be an Israeli. And I think this sums it up. Look, I'm not here to draw a picture that everything is perfect. As I said, we do have problems, but part of this problem, the reason why, by the way, we founded this organization is also to work on these problems, because unfortunately, I always say, if we need to blame someone, you can't just blame one side. You need two to tango. So obviously the state, Israel, have responsibility, but also the representative, the political representative from our society has also responsibility. Unfortunately, they don't do anything for us. And that's why we decided to come and do something about it. So as an Israeli Arab, I feel that we need to fix things that only if we cooperate together, we can fix it, not going against each other. And I mean the political leaders and the state. By the way, we're seeing it from our activities. When we come and we actually cooperate, we manage to do projects and we manage to change within the state of Israel, because we're coming from a place that we say we are part of the Israeli society and we need to get our situation much better. Saying that, let's also look at the advantages. Any Israeli Arab can become whatever he wants, if he wants. And I have a lot of examples, not just me. Samir Hajj Yahya, which is the chairman of the biggest bank here in Israel, Bank Leumi. We have Professor Masoud, which is the chairman of the hospital in Nahariya, one of the biggest hospitals in the north. We have 16 Arab members, Knesset parliament members in the Knesset. We have Israeli Arabs doing a successful career in sports and business. We can do what we want, and we have good life, but it could be better, much better. And from this base, okay, we have to work on to make it even better and better. Okay. Perfect questions. I'm gonna start from the second and then go to the first one, how we are accepting it. As of exceptions, no, I'm not. My voice is unique because I speak out loud. That's the only difference. Like me, there is a lot. And I'm saying it on the messages that I'm getting. A lot of people from the Israeli Arab Society sending me a message, listen, wow, this is amazing. Finally, someone speaking out loud what we think for a long time. Sorry for not supporting publicly because we're afraid, and there is a reason. And this actually connected to the first question, which how it's received from both societies. The majority of the Israeli society, both Arab and Jews, want to be, side by side, cooperate. But unfortunately, the extremists, which they are the minority, but they are louder and stronger and more violent, they don't want that. But keep in mind, they are minority. So from this side, I'm being attacked, which is when I say from this side, from the Jewish extreme minority, I'm being attacked because I am an Arab. And from this side, from the extreme Arab minority, I'm being attacked because I am a proud Israeli. And I can understand them because me and my organization is actually showing that their agenda is collapsing because of us. We prove each time when we do an activity, we do something, okay, and we reveal stories on social media, we prove to them, to those extremists, that the majority of the Israeli Arabs are not terrorists, and the majority of the Israeli Arabs want to be an integral part of the Israeli society. So it's hard for them. And we prove to this side that they say that the whole Jewish society is racist and they don't want us here. We're proving to them time by time that the majority of the Jewish society not racist, and the majority wants the Israeli Arabs to be part of the Israeli society. And when I realized that we are doing just fine, even great, it's when those two cooperate together against us. So I said to myself, if I manage to make the most extremist side cooperate and connect, for sure we can manage to make the majority Israeli society, which they are, with the common voice, and they want to live side by side. For sure we can make them also to connect, and we've seen that. I have numbers of examples, stories that I can share with you guys. Like just one of the examples that happened lately. There was a video where you can see someone who's obviously from those extremist Jewish community, okay, the minorities, that he came to an Arab family and told them, we don't care that you are Israelis, you are an Arab, you're not Israelis, get out of here. And then I posted this on my social media. I'm telling you, less than 5-10 minutes, there were thousands of comments from Jews saying that this guy will never represent us, this guy is not representing the values of the Judaism, this guy doesn't represent the values of Israelis. Thousands of them, all of them are Jews. This is a living proof that the majority are not racist. The majority condemn racism, and the majority of the Israeli Arabs condemn anti-Semitism. But the problem is that we're not talking about it. The problem is that not a lot of people, doing something about it. We said in Arabic, we say khalas. We said khalas. Enough, khalas. We want to talk. So yes, I am a bit unique because I speak out loud. But like me, both in the Jewish and the Arab society, there is a lot. There is a lot, and we've seen every day more and more people joining my social medias, more and more people joining our activities, and volunteering in our organization. So 100% we see that. And the wheels moving forward slowly. Don't forget, 70 years we lived in a certain way. Now we're
Very
changing.
How do you see the normalization agreements with the Arab countries affecting the attitude of Israeli Arabs?
Okay, so first of all, the best way to look at it is by how the Arab political representative from the joint list, when they voted against the Abraham Accords, against the agreement, and then all the Israeli Arab society, almost all of them, condemned them and even laughed at them and said, "Are you kidding me?" And not only that, the first people who went and visited Dubai and made business with people from the Emirates and from Bahrain and from Morocco, they were Israeli Arabs. It's easier. It's our mother tongue language. So obviously, this is something important, and we wish for other agreements to come. And I know that there is some of them on the way. Hopefully that when it will be more, possible, then we will hear about it as well. But there is another agreements on the way, and we want more. And it affects because we see that eventually that when Israel and the Arab world are getting closer, we see that it's also give us more motivation for the Israeli Arab society to be an integral part of the Israeli society. And I'm here going to say a sentence that not a lot of people think about. The solution for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is not, the solution is not the UN, not the United States, not the EU, no. Not Egypt, okay? The solution is hidden within the Israeli Arabs. Because when the Israeli Arabs will become an integral part of the Israeli society and will be in positions, in different official offices, in the government, and then only, and obviously represent Israel proud, when we go to a negotiation table as Israeli Arabs to sit down with the Palestinians, only then we can achieve an agreement, and only then we can advance peace and end this conflict. The solution is within the Israeli Arabs. Point.
What would you say to Danish and Norwegian politicians accusing Israel of being an apartheid state, and on top of that also calling Israel a vaccine apartheid, refusing to give Palestinians vaccines?
All right. I mean, I've literally, I'll address the two questions, but let's start from the hot topic, which is the vaccine program. I think anyone who says that, I'm sorry, I don't know anyone, and I'm not familiar with the names, but anyone who says that the Israeli vaccine program is racist, sorry for my language, but he's an idiot, because he talks or she talks out of lack of information and knowledge. Go check your facts first and then say that Israel is doing that. Let's talk facts. After the Oslo Accords, Palestine got her independence in terms of health control. They're the one who's responsible for the health of the Palestinians. That's according to the Oslo Accords. Go and check it. But more than that, okay? In the last year, the Palestinian Authority paid 500 million shekel 500 million shekel to terrorists and to terrorist families. If they would have paid only half of the $500 million, okay, only 250,000 million shekel, they would have vaccinated all the West Bank plus Gaza together.
Yeah.
If we would have put that money instead of terrorism on vaccination, they would have vaccinated Gaza and West Bank, all of their citizens.
Yeah.
So this is a very important information. Now, the Palestinian Authority is vaccinating their officials and their friends and not their citizens. Do you know who is vaccinating their citizens? Israel.
Yeah.
Israel who set up vaccination camps in Calandia. Israel that wanted to set a vaccination camp in Al-Aqsa for all those who come and pray, but was denied by the Palestinian Authority. Check your facts first. That's about the vaccination. And by the way, Israel also, we're talking also about the Arabs who live in Israel, the Israeli Arabs, okay? I am vaccinated, okay, as an Arab. Not only that, but the Ministry of Health is doing campaigns in Arabic, encouraging everyone to go and vaccinate. That's facts. So any Norwegian or Danish politician who says that, just showing this video, and you know what? Come and confront me about those facts, and let's talk about it. As for just for the as for the apartheid, as for the apartheid, you know what? Come and confront me about those facts. This is, I mean, those politicians, did they visit Israel before they claimed that? Because anyone who would come and visit Israel would understand that this is a complete nonsense. I'm not saying that everything is perfect, but between apartheid to what's going on really in Israel, it's completely, you know, a nonsense. Go and check the definition of apartheid. You know what? I visited South Africa because the definition of apartheid started from South Africa. I visited last year South Africa. I visited the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg. Comparing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to the apartheid, the real apartheid that happened in South Africa, is actually doing injustice to all the Black communities in South Africa who suffered from real apartheid. Shame on you guys. Shame on you because you compare something like this. That's my answer. Come and see. And then tell me if Israel is an apartheid country. And by the way, B'Tselem, which is an Israeli organization funded by foreign governments, including the Danish government, okay, they stated that in Israel, all Israel, including me, I'm living under apartheid regime. That's the most, I mean, I encourage you. I did actually a video with my friend Emily. I did actually a video on B'Tselem, and we actually talked about this topic about B'Tselem calling Israel an apartheid. I encourage you, look at me search for me on the social media, and search for that specific video about B'Tselem, and you will see exactly my answer about this situation.
Thanks. There was in January there was a big outcry in Norway that Israel wasn't given the vaccines, and it continued into February. And in the beginning of February, there was even a Norwegian radio host who gave an anti-Semitic rant. Israel wasn't giving vaccines to the Palestinians. But yesterday, it was news in Norwegian media that the Palestinians asked Norway for vaccines the 4th of January, and Norway has given them exactly 0.
No, but listen. There's a huge misunderstanding.
Yes, absolutely.
First of all, again, Israel is not obligated by the Oslo Accords, are not obligated to give even one dose of vaccine. Second, with all respect to the Palestinians, we want, first of all, to vaccinate ourselves.
Yep.
with all respect. Any country would do that. We will take care of ourselves. And yes, if we can, and by the way, that's exactly what happened. We are now arrived to over 5 million people vaccinated, okay? And it's going slower and slower, the continue of the to vaccinate people. So because of that, Israel gives thousands of vaccines to the Palestinians. Magen David Adom, the national EMS here in Israel, is actually both Arab and Jews working in Magen David Adom. They were yesterday, Wednesday, yeah, they were in Kalandia checkpoint, and they set up a camp there and vaccinated Palestinians. Again, we don't have to do that. We don't. This is by the agreements with the Palestinians signed in Oslo. Check your facts, please. Okay. So, and then you see the hypocrisy when they ask for Norway and you get 0 doses.
Yeah. Exactly. After a little break, we will be back with more from Joseph.
Vi håper du vil abonnere på Med Israel for fred på YouTube. Her finner du et stort antall foredrag av internasjonale eksperter, aktuelle direktesendinger og korte videoklipp. Husk å like, abonnere og motta varsler. MIFFs YouTube-kanal vil gi deg noe alle trenger, mer forståelse for Israel.
Here we go. Rika, you had another question for Joseph?
As far as I understand, you were also during your military service, you were also in Gaza?
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard about it, but there are a lot of accusations against the Israeli army, the IDF, concerning their conduct in Gaza. What would you say to, again, Danish and Norwegian politicians in that regard?
Okay, so first of all, I've addressed the ICC as well. Again, on a video that me and Emily did, talking about the ICC and talking about the fact that they are, launching their investigations about what happened. The problem is that they have no credibility, and in terms of legal terms, they have no jurisdiction to actually do that. Because for the people that need to understand that there was the Roma Accord, the Roma Accords were countries that signed this agreements can be actually held accountable on the ICC. But it was made specially for countries that they don't have a solid and base court. And in Israel, we do have. But not only that, Israel and the United States and other countries backed down from that agreement and didn't sign. So the ICC has no liability or credibility to investigate Israel. But I will tell you something else. If I knew that they are not biased, I swear to you, I'm the first one to invite them here to come and investigate. Because when they come and investigate what happens here in Gaza, they will see a war crime. But they will see the war crime coming from Hamas, the terrorist organization that launches rockets on civilians.
Exactly.
Not only that, they will see that when they uses UNRWA schools to set up missiles. And it's not me saying that. UNRWA admitted that Hamas used their schools to launch rockets towards Israel. I will only speak facts, and you are more than welcome every time to come and face me and tell me where I wasn't on the spot or correct, okay? I'm telling you. So they will come and they will find war crimes. Only if I knew that they're not biased. And by the way, I addressed them. I even have a video giving them my tag number in the military and asked them, summon me for questioning. I was there. Where do you see an army that 5 minutes before, a missile was shot down, launched from a building. But because Israel knew that in this building there is civilians, first we called all of the civilians in that building, telling them, get out of the building. We're going to destroy that building because there was a launch from there. What army does that? I know that when you see a rocket launch from some point, the other army goes and hit it directly without saying even one word. The hypocrisy is unbelievable. Let's talk about what happened in Syria. Why nobody is investigating Bashar al-Assad? Why nobody is investigating China for the massacre and the genocide that they're doing in Muslims in China? Why they're not investigating this? This is only a political target and a target towards Israel because of a political matters. And there's no one, how can I say it, innocent thing in this. And by the way, who was the prosecutor was? Bensouda, the defender of a corrupted regime in her country?
Yeah.
Any politician who support this should be ashamed. Check yourself before you say something or you do something or you comment on something. And you know what? If this is a respectful stage here, I call here to any Norwegian or Danish politician. I welcome you. Come to Israel. Be my host. Be my guest. Sorry. Be my guest. I welcome you to Nazareth. I will host you. We will go to an amazing place. I will show you everything. All the places. And don't worry, the food is great. I invite you personally, come. I'm hosting any politician who wants me and my organization will meet with activists, will meet with the Israeli society, with the Arab Israeli society, will meet also with the Palestinians.
Yeah.
Come, you're more than welcome.
That's wonderful. Joseph, we know you have to leave. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I think, I hope this was only the first live stream visit to MIFF in Scandinavia. And the viewers really appreciated it. And this was the first time we went live through a Zoom interview. So forgive us for the little bit of technical hiccup. I know I lost the sound for a few seconds, but please.
It was perfect. I'm very honored to be the first one who launched this project like this in a live by Zoom. Thank you for having me. I will always be glad to be with you guys again as a guest. So thanks you for having me. Hope that I managed to pass a bit of a message to everyone. And
yes.
Stay well, everyone. Stay well. Thank you very much.
Litrot.
Thank you so much. Litrot.
Bye.
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 Med norsk hjelp og fredspris fra Nobelkomiteen skulle konflikten mellom israelere og palestinere ta slutt for alltid. Men slik gikk det ikke. Den norske eliten svarte med å gjøre Israel ensidig til syndebukk. Men heldigvis har ikke alle latt seg lure av ensidig propaganda. Fra fredsprosessen gikk i stampe på begynnelsen av 2000-tallet, har organisasjonen Med Israel for fred, MIFF, satt nye medlemsrekorder år etter år. Stadig flere ser at det er islamistenes jihad og de palestinske nasjonalistenes jødehat som hindrer fred. Palestinerne er nærmere enn noen gang å få sin egen stat. Men de kan bare få den dersom de aksepterer å være naboer til en jødisk stat. Det avviser palestinerne fullstendig. De krever selv arabisk stat nummer 22 og muslimsk stat nummer 57. Men verdens eneste jødiske stat må bort. For et hykleri! Israel er ikke feilen i Midtøsten. Israel er blant de få ting som er riktig i dette området. Nå står over 11 000 medlemmer sammen under mottoet «Med Israel for fred». De 2 siste årene har MIFF også startet arbeid i Danmark og på Island. Bli medlem av MIFF du også. Velg ditt kodeord og send inn SMS til 2160 nå for å bli medlem. Med norsk hjelp og fredspris fra Nobelkomiteen skulle konflikten mellom israelere og...
Hej, jeg hedder Rika og er MIFFs daglige leder i Danmark. En vinterdag i 2018 besluttede jeg at trodse kulden og tog hen til en bazar arrangeret af en jødisk kvindeorganisation. Blandt standene var der et logo, som fangede min opmærksomhed. Det var MIFFs smukke blå logo og budskab med Israel for fred og Davidstjernen, som minder om det israelske flag og Israel, som jeg elsker så højt. En sød MIFF-frivillig spurgte, om jeg havde hørt om MIFF. Det havde jeg ikke, men jeg ville gerne vide mere. Efter vores spændende samtale gik jeg hjem med en følelse af, at jeg måtte vide mere om MIFF. På MIFF.dk og MIFF.no fandt jeg hurtigt ud af, at det var her, jeg hørte hjemme, sammen med alle Israel-venner, uanset deres religion, etnicitet eller politiske holdning. Jeg tog derfor kontakt til MIFFs daværende frivillige daglige leder i Danmark, Dina, og spurgte, om jeg kunne hjælpe med at realisere hendes drøm om at få MIFF til at blive lige så stærk en stemme for Israel i Danmark, som MIFF er blevet efter 43 år i Norge. Den dag forandrede mit liv for altid, og siden har jeg koncentreret alle kræfter om arbejdet i MIFF. I ordbogen beskrives ordet propaganda således: information, ofte usand eller indsidig, som udspredes for at påvirke andre til at tænke, mene, føle eller gøre noget bestemt. Resultatet efter flere årtiers propaganda i danske og internationale medier, organisationer, politikere og andre ses i dag tydeligt. En stor del af den norske og danske befolkning har fået et fejlagtigt indtryk af Israel, og nogen føler sågar had. De har været ofre for anti-israelsk propaganda, som tilsværter Israel. Propagandaen drives af kræfter, som har et klart mål om at fjerne den eneste jødiske stat i verden. MIFF giver israelerne mulighed for at få ordet. MIFF er en pro-israelsk stemme i et hav af Israel-hader. MIFF arbejder for via langsigtet informationsarbejde at korrigere og ændre på en ensidig mediedækning, som ikke afspejler virkeligheden i Israel. Israel er det eneste demokrati i Mellemøsten. Alle religiøse minoriteter i landet er beskyttet af loven og kan sige deres mening uden at blive forfulgt. Israel er et lys i mørket, som minder os om, at sameksistens mellem religioner er mulig. Vi har et fælles ansvar for at beskytte det eneste land i verden, hvor jøder kan leve et jødisk liv uden at blive forfulgt. Tak til alle Israel-venner, som støtter vores arbejde for Israel og det jødiske folk. I giver os styrken til at fortsætte vores informationsarbejde, som får meningerne om Israel til at ændre sig. Alle Israel-venner er velkomne i MIFF. Meld dig ind og vær med til at gøre en positiv forskel.
Tusen takk til deg som har fulgt denne direktesendingen nesten helt til endes. Vi skal snart slutte av. Men klokken 1 nå i dag så kommer det en ny direktesending fra med Israel for fred, der vi skal snakke om København kommune, som nå erklærer boykott av israelske bosetninger for ulovlig. Vi skal også snakke om flere av de andre aktuelle sakene som MIFF har jobbet med og meldt om den siste uken. Så følg med når vi går på luften igjen, cirka klokken 1.
Husk å følge Med Israel for fred på Facebook. Når du liker, kommenterer og deler våre saker, vil israelernes argumenter bli mer synlige for familie og venner. Det jo akkurat dette du vil. Her et godt tips. Velg følgeinnstillinger. Du kan stille inn at saker fra MIFF får høyere prioritet i nyhetsoppdateringen din. Og du kan skru på egne varsler om artikler, videoer og direktesendinger. Med Israel for freds Facebook-side gir deg noe alle trenger, mer forståelse for Israel.